This shop is being robbed every day. The shopkeeper always gives all the money, even before his mugger leaves. He thanks him for the visit and tells him to come back later. Then he took out the cash from his wallet and put it in the money box. But the bandit had no idea who he was dealing with. The man looks like an ordinary person, but in the past he was the most ruthless killer in Japan. The people who died in his hands, more than 800 people. Everyone called him a devil. It was because he was dissatisfied with the use of the children's organization. It makes him a killing machine. From then on, he betrayed his own organization. At the same time, he brought a girl as a present for him. Now Mai and Tax are doing undercover at the supermarket. Because in order to live like an ordinary person, every day he has to take a lot of medicine. Sometimes he even went to see a psychiatrist. And what the doctor did? The doctor didn't expect this normal-looking patient had become his nightmare. Based on Mai and Tax's situation, the psychiatrist will conduct a test. He raised his hand and aimed it directly at Tax's head. But when he was about to shoot him, Tax suddenly disappeared from his sight. If in his hand was a real weapon, he would probably be dead by now. This action makes the doctor threatened. Now that it's been revealed, the patient looks fine, and the doctor has turned into a madman. Then he fell ill and was blacklisted. That day, Tax took his daughter out for a walk. However, he felt a killing intent rising behind him. He asked his daughter to go home first. He wanted to deal with this person. In the crowd, he saw someone. The person was neatly dressed and kept looking at him. Now behind him appeared an assassin. Then very quickly Tax turned around and snapped the killer's throat. Then he slowly drew closer to the assassin. On the way, he put everything together to make weapons. He took out all his ammo. Very calmly, he dodged the assassin's bullet. Then take a pedestrian pen. He made the pen into an air compressor set. Moments later, Tax disappeared from the killer's presence. Then suddenly appeared in front of the assassin. Tax held his gun and fired the pen. The pen was stuck right in his neck. Within seconds, he finished off the two assassins. Tax did it as if nothing had happened, then disappeared in the crowd. After returning home, he washed away the bloodstains with rainwater. Mai and Tax know the organization has found its history. Otherwise destroy it completely. In the following days, their followers would no longer be at peace. But he didn't know that assassins would come to hunt him down. And the killer wasn't the only one. Restaurant staff only asked customers to pay. He didn't say anything to the staff and immediately slashed the employee's neck with a knife. He is a top-class assassin, highly trained. The murder case at the restaurant is in the news. After Tax heard the news, he knew it would cause serious trouble. He entrusted his daughter to a friend who worked there, then walk out the door. He chose to come to them and want to deal with all the enemies. He was like a lion walking out of his cage. The assassins ambushed him on the way. They weren't afraid of death and rushed towards Tax. Tax killed him very quickly. He kept moving his shoulders and allowed himself always mad. In front of him, there was a frightened fake woman. But suddenly he turned around and attacked Tax. But Tax had seen the trick clearly and immediately broke his neck. Then two more people appeared. This group continued to play tricks on him. The man pretends to make a phone call. At this time he was acting. Then he took out a knife from inside the phone and attacked Tax. Tax quickly parried it and counterattacked. This thing is very easy for a killer like him. After that, he went to a shop. He took several tools such as nails, shovel, and hammer. Everything will become his killing equipment. Meanwhile, an assassin, disguised as a worker, bursts into the shop. Seconds later, Tax disappeared from their sight. The group of workers cautiously walked into the shop. Then Tax suddenly appeared. He used a knife to stab his neck, then swiftly parried his attack. He drops the enemy's weapon and quickly deal with it. The remaining assassins were terrified. Currently, Tax cuts the bottom of a beer bottle. He was going to use it to cut the assassin's throat. Very quickly, the three people were killed by him. Now Tax is having his rice box. Tax took standard chopsticks to eat. Then that person suddenly got up and was about to attack him. And Tax stabbed him with those chopsticks. Tax cleaned the blood on his chopsticks, put on his pants, then eating the rice. It seemed that this killing was taking a toll on his stamina. After finishing eating, he was about to call his daughter to ask how she was. But his phone ran out of battery. So he went to a payphone. At this time, a woman who was wearing revealing clothes walked towards Tax. Then he attacked him with a knife. But Tax didn't panic at all. The two of them were killing each other in this small space. And quickly the woman also died in his hands. Tax said to his daughter in the next few days she had to work. His daughter obediently waited for him at the restaurant until he returned. The next morning he received a call from the restaurant owner. She told him last night her daughter was missing. However, it did not make him panic, because he kept a tracking device on his daughter. Just by looking at his cell phone, he would immediately know where his daughter was. Maybe there he will find the base of the enemy and will face all of them. Then there will be no more consequences for them. Not long after Tax went to the forest. At the top of the mountain was the place of the assassins. He wanted to go there. So he was forced to pass through this dense forest. And the hunt will soon begin. The man was so agile that even a high-level sniper couldn't do anything about it. Tax calmly dodging all of his shots. Then Tax silently appeared behind the enemy. Then he rushed to face the enemy. Those guns and grenades, like toys to him. In the end, he finished dealing with this group of people. It seems that even a group of animals do not dare to do it. Having finished dealing with an assassin, he took out his shovel. It's a tool to do the job. This weapon that looks trivial becomes his weapon for killing. But at the time Tax was killing everyone. On the other hand, the forest also came up with something unexpected. The assassins were suddenly ambushed from behind. This person was a great leader called Gong. In the past these two were the best collaborations. However, because their goals were not the same, they eventually turned into enemies. He thought he could only kill. So the two of them went to kill their brothers. The two immediately got rid of these intruders. On the other side of this intense battle, Tax was dealing with all those troops. He suddenly saw someone short. This person wields a sword bigger than himself. Didn't drop it many times. The person continued to roll on the ground. However, it made him very angry. He unzipped his jacket and revealed the bomb stuck to his chest. He wanted to end it this way. But that method has no effect on Tax. When that person presses the button, Tax has cut the bomb cord. The man looks so stupid. Then he was hit hard by Tax. Maybe next time, that person should do it fast. After that, Tax suddenly got two sickles. And what is used is the death scythe. This caught the killers by surprise. The killer instead shot at his own comrades. Moments later, he rushed over to deal with this group of people. But after finishing kill them all. Suddenly a group came. Their appearance made Tax want to kill as many people as possible. It's a little tiring to use that weapon. Then he stuck his scythe into the tree. Then took out a small scythe. Assassins never seemed to see anyone like him. Now Tax had a scythe in his hand. And started moving his shoulders. The strange movement indicated that he had entered battle mode. Tax attacked them one by one. He didn't care how many people he killed. If they had dared to attack him, then they would have to die. Tax fights in the jungle all day long. Finally, he finished killing all of them. But at this moment, Gong is also a dangerous person. He went to take a look. But Tax didn't even care about him. And went straight to the base. Then Tax made his way into the base with ease. Within this darkness, the demon continued to take down all of its enemies. Inside there were only a few sounds of guns. And finally all the assassins had been annihilated. Tax has already found his daughter. Then he entrusted his daughter to a friend. Because he knows there are enemies who have not been killed. They couldn't leave safely. Then Tax met the big-headed man again. The man kept shooting at him. But Tax dodged them all. In the end the man had no other way. He just had to do a knife fight. The two people looked very similar. Even the technique is exactly the same. They may have equal abilities. The enemy is hiding. Their battlefield is very complex. And can't avoid this one-on-one battle. The two continued to fight for quite a long time. They had to endure all their tiredness. Then both felt that they could not make a fatal move. The two of them discarded their knives in order to attack comfortably. Then, they released the strange dance. This fight gave him a lot of trouble. And lastly, Tax managed to beat him. He uses his weaknesses to master his abilities. and managed to kill that person. Right now, he was extremely exhausted, and she wants to come back home with her daughter. But the danger is still not over. Now he saw the big boss. That old man was the leader of an entire assassin organization. But is this man the best killer? The boss mastered the hypnosis ability. His mouth wouldn't stop talking to hypnotize him. And gradually, Tax also began to lose consciousness. He even loosened the grip of his knife. Then the boss took this opportunity to stab him. He pointed the knife at Tax's throat. The moment the knife touched his neck, Tax quickly regained his senses and immediately slashed his neck. That old man is the leader of this organization. This killer organization has a lot of members. And now this organization has been completely destroyed at the hands of Tax. Then Tax told him about his daughter going to be a killer. But he would let his daughter live the life she wanted. The story ends.